Just say no to plastic drop-in bed liners. I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm Paul, the owner of BedLiner Veterans, and we're going to talk about just that, plastic bed liners, okay? The problem with these is that they're not secured into the bed. They're not screwed in. They're not actually mounted. There's no adhesive. They're not permanently fixed at all, actually. They wedge up under the bed rails. And what happens is they're in there and it's chafing as you're driving. And wherever the points of contact are, and there's usually like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, it goes right through to the sheet metal. So in those spots, the sheet metal is rusted. So if you catch that, not a big deal. It's surface rust. You can grind it off, and then we shoot a liner in. No big deal. There's not actually any real damage. In other scenarios, and there was a time this truck came in, a guy bought it, and he was cleaning the truck up. So we pulled the plastic bed liner out of there, and what was back there was like this clay dirt, and it was all interlaced with straw. It looked like adobe. So probably the truck was on a farm for whatever, quite some time, and that dirt, it was a big area, had retained the moisture, and so it was holding the moisture against the sheet metal. Now in all the cases where there's dirt, the dirt is holding moisture, but in this case it was really doing it. And there was a big area, and we get back there, we start cleaning the dirt, and as soon as we scraped the dirt, the sheet metal was totally decayed. You could put your finger through. So that wasn't a dishonest scenario. I don't think the dirt had been back. The dirt was undisturbed. It had been back there for a long time. So neither the seller nor the buyer caught that. The guy did end up actually. He put a new bed on. We saw him later. Put a bed liner in it. So not too big of a deal. But the other one is, unfortunately, some people are dishonest, right? So they take the beds damaged, and the kind of damage you see regularly in beds are pallets are almost perfectly the width of fender wells. So somebody's loading a pallet, they set it down, it crushes the fender well. It's pretty easy to do. Or a load isn't secured, and the load slides forward, it hits the headboard, the welds break pretty easy, and the sheet metal bows out, and there'll be a gap in there, and the headboard's smashed, right? That's pretty regular damage. I did a truck for a guy one time. He bought I think it was even like the same year, it was 2500 heavy duty Duramax, and the truck itself, it was leather, right? It was a really nice truck. Everything was super clean, and it looked like this truck only had 10,000 miles on it, but they had been using it to haul probably pavers or bricks or something like that off of the job site when they were done, because the bricks weren't stacked. There was probably about 300 dents, dings, stuff like that. They were just chucking the stuff in there when they were done. So whether the dealer didn't catch it, or whoever put it in, the end state was this guy bought this truck. He thought he was getting a killer deal with only 10,000 miles on it, bringing it in for a bed liner, pull it out, the bed was smoked. So what you want to do is, if you have one of these in there, you need to get it out. It's doing damage. It's not a long-term solution. You need to get it out, get a bed liner. If you're buying a truck, definitely check under there. So these are flexible. You should be able to look under there, look and see if there's fender well damage, if there's dirt built up in there. You might have a bad decay. You can look in between the truck, in between the window and the bed. Make sure that the sheet metal's straight, it's not smashed into the cab or something like that. So buyer beware. These are hiding damage. I've seen it. So anyways, get this out of your truck regardless. Get it in, get a sprayed in bed liner. spraying BedLiner is the way to go. These are not. So once again, thank you. I'm Paul from BedLiner Veterans. Like and subscribe to the channel. Help support the fight. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.